Another thing I really like in hearing Dr. Nasrallah talk about these things is that Alzheimer's and schizophrenia were looked at as similar diseases. Now, today, nobody doubts that Alzheimer's disease is a biological disease, and yet schizophrenia is often classified as a mental illness instead of a brain disease. Why are schizophrenia, bipolar, stroke, Alzheimer's disease, why are they not all in the same category?
Bethany, you're touching on an issue that is so frustrating to me, that people think mental is different than neurological. It's one and the same.
It's a physical brain disease?
Everything is a brain disease. All psychiatric disorders are brain disease, everything. Because the brain is the hardware and the mind is the software.
Okay.
So it's the same organ, and you know what the number one job of a brain is? The number one job? To produce a mind.
Yes. Okay.
So that you can talk, you can think,
yes.
you can feel, you can hate, you can love, you can make decisions, you can be motivated. All of these things come from the brain. And so psychiatric disorders are brain disorders, but because they look, behavior, there was to many people in the past looked like, oh, it's not paralysis, or blindness or anything like that.
And yet Alzheimer's is so clearly thought of as a biological illness. Do you think someday schizophrenia...
No, it was called psychiatric. For decades,
Alzheimer's disease used to be psychiatric.
Yeah, they used to call it psychiatric disorder.
Interesting.
Yeah, like deterioration in behavior and so on. But later, a few decades ago, it was recognized as a degenerative brain disorder. So yeah, it started out being even epilepsy. Epilepsy, which is a hardcore neurological illness, used to be called a mental illness.
Wow.
Earlier in the 20th century.
So should we just shed this term mental illness and refer to all of these diseases
Yes, I would
as
shed
physical?
mental illness, even though it refers to mental functions of the brain. I would call them brain disorders, behavioral brain disorders. It's a brain disorder that manifests in behavior, cognition, feelings, thoughts, emotions, instead of sensory motor paralysis and so on, which is classic neurology, the hardware.
So just to go back, so we've said that schizophrenia is from the Greek words. It means split mind, and yet split mind is not what it is. It was named 100 years ago. So Dr. Nasrallah, do you believe that sometime in the near future, schizophrenia will have a new, more scientifically accurate name?
I think so, definitely, because over the past 10 years, there have been numerous publications, papers by very good researchers, and I did one of them myself, where we questioned the term with all the baggage it has and the misleading connotation it has. And we're all looking at an international community of schizophrenia researchers want to develop a new term. Nobody has agreed yet what we call it.
So we don't know yet what it's going to be.
Yeah, but we have to indicate what it is in reality, not what it used to be thought of in the past. But this term has perpetuated itself and carries a lot of stigma, actually.
Oh, I understand that from my own life. I remember I recovered from schizophrenia, thanks really to Dr. Nasrallah and loving family medication. I'm in college again. I'm taking classes in molecular biology again, which is my field. I'm getting A's. And I want to tell people who I am and what I've done for the last few years. Oh, I had schizophrenia, but I'm in full remission now, and you mentioned just that word.
And they react.
A lot of these people never want to speak with you again.
Can you believe that? That is so sad. It really is.
It was very hard for me.
It's disgraceful also, because they should know better. But that's why Cures, our foundation, wants to educate not just the illiterate and ignorant people. There's a lot of well-educated people who don't know what schizophrenia is.
Yes.
And we want to let them understand what the brain disorder is, and that there's a lot of causes and a lot of treatments emerging for it.
Yes, absolutely.
By the way, the Japanese Psychiatric Association in 2006 decided to get rid of the term schizophrenia.
Can I guess? Social integration disorder.
They call it integration disorder. And guess what? A lot of people started coming forward to seek help, who did not before because they were so afraid about the stigma.
Very effective.
And it has worked very well for that country. But the other countries have not adopted that term, but they're working on it.
Very exciting, yes.
Yep, it is.
Maybe someday we will live in an America where schizophrenia has a new name and is in the same group of diseases as Alzheimer's, bipolar, stroke, Parkinson's disease, other diseases.